Hello. I'm going to wait for you guys to pop on. Oops. Oh, that was my notification to say that I'm on. So I guess I'm good. Oops. So hello, everyone. How are you? When you're joining in and tuning in, this is what I need you to do. I need you to tell me where you're tuning in from and if this is your first time, and click that thumbs up button. Not a thumbs up in the comments, but the thumbs up button so that I can see people. I lost my chat. Now I can't find it. Son of a. There it is. Okay. There we go. Hello. Ooh, that's nice and big for my eyes. Hello, Dakota. How are you? You must be a relative of Susan because you have the same last name. Hey, Grace. How are you? Robin, Sharon, my usual suspects tuning in. So just write where you're tuning in and logging in from. And tonight, because for those of you who saw my Instagram post, I want you to remind me if someone else suggested for you to watch this. I want you to tell me who recommended this show for you so I can see where my referrals are coming from. And I want to reward my referrals with the ability to ask me an intuitive question online through my website. So I have a service of being able to ask me an intuitive questions through my website, open all the time. But it's offered now as a reward for those of you who are referring a lot of people to me. So I want to see who gets the most referrals, and that person I'm going to gift a free intuitive question. So I'm seeing everybody. Hello from New Jersey for Tyler. I was just about to ask you, Sharon, if you're on your yoga mat or not. And I'm just reminding everybody over on Facebook who's tuning in that I only pay attention to my YouTube screen, which is right in front of me. I have Facebook logged in just so you can join me and listen, but I don't interact with everybody on Facebook. So if you're tuning in on Facebook and you see the green screen behind me, you want to tune into me on YouTube. So go to YouTube and it's Google Intuitive Medium Deborah Hanlon, and I should pop up. What everyone needs to also do is click the bell icon. Once you get to YouTube, click the bell icon. And when you do that, you'll be notified of every time I come on. And I really don't come on that often, so you're not going to get like 1,000 notifications. It's every Monday night at 8:30. And that's it for now, really. So I'm not going to like drive you crazy with notifications, because if you're like me, I just get crazy with too much extra sensory input. I don't want any more notifications of shit that I don't need. Even the stuff I do need, I don't want more notifications. So click the bell icon. That way you are going to be notified when I'm popping on here. So LaGrangeville, South Carolina. Hello, Aisha. Hey, Kathy. Good to see you here. Susan, Jean. Hello. Jean, if you're the person I think you are, you can let me know if I saw you today or not. If I didn't see you today, then forget it. It's a different Jean. Jody and Niskayuna. Hello, Victoria. Susan, you're getting your numbers up there, my friend. Thank you. Annie from Colorado, because you set an alarm for this to remind you. I love it, but you don't even need to set an alarm for this if you click the bell icon. So click the bell icon as soon as you get to YouTube, and that way you'll be notified of all my upcoming shows. And then always please hit that thumbs up sign. I don't know where it is on your screen. Your screen's different from mine. And Carrie Lynch, I just saw you're a new subscriber from Brooklyn, so thank you for tuning in. I just got your subscription shortly before the show aired. And let's see who else we have here. Barbara, West Park, from Carol from West Park. Dakota, see, Susan is getting some people up here by referring to a lot of people. So what this is about is, my name is Deborah Hanlon. I am an intuitive, a medium, and author. I can add that to my list of titles. I've written my first book called In the Presence of Proof. If those of you have not read it, I don't know why you haven't read it. You could get it on Amazon, or you can purchase it at any one of my events that I'm at, my center classes and any of my galleries that I have coming up. So, all right, let's see. Greg from upstairs is tuning in. He's upstairs. This is fantastic. Hello, Maria. Hello, Patricia from Sandy Hook, Connecticut. Good to see you here. From Ghent, Melanie and Becky. So this is my romper room portion where I go through everybody who is tuning in. And I need to get like one of those mirrors or whatever they used to use. And just keep posting if this is your first time ever tuning in, because I always like to see that. If you have already, I got you. But if you haven't, go ahead and do that. Also, don't forget today is Amazon Prime Day. What the hell does that mean? I don't really know. It's an exciting day in Amazon. It means today and tomorrow. Sorry, today and tomorrow, which means, I don't know, orders are free. I don't know. But I have an Amazon store because so many times people ask me, like, what incense do I use at the center? What tea am I drinking? Which I'm usually drinking hibiscus tea. So I have all the stuff that you normally see me carrying around, using, music that I love, books that I like to read. Hello, Nicole Roberts. How are you? So all that stuff that people do ask me all the time, all my not referrals, what do you call them? My like favorite things, like Oprah's favorite things. I've got Deborah's favorite things. All of Deborah's favorite things. No, not all of my stuff. Some of Deborah's favorite things are listed on my Amazon Prime channel. Greg will click or send a link below so that you can see what those are, because a lot of people do ask me my book recommendations. And I have a bunch of classes coming up. I've added a ton of workshops, and you can see them on the screen. They're all over my face right now on the screen. For those of you on YouTube, you are seeing all that. I probably should move over, huh? Let me see. That's probably smart, right? Okay, that's a little bit better. So my most coming up my most soonest is my gallery at the Wood in Highland. I don't know if they're sold out. They usually do sell out pretty fast, but this one, with weather permitting, will be held outside on their beautiful veranda. So that is at the Wood. So you can contact the Wood restaurant to get tickets for that. That's one of my favorite locations that I do. I love the owners, and it's just a great vibe. The energy is always perfect for me there to work really well, and the audience is great. So that's coming up on next Wednesday. And my exciting spiritual summer camp for adults. I added the first session. It is Monday, July 29th. And it is literally just that. It's spiritual summer camp for adults. It's from 9 to 3. I know a lot of you work. If you need a day, consider taking a sick day or a rest day or a wellness day and join me at a private location in the country to really sit and be and have exercises and camaraderie and alone time and introspection time and fun and laughter and meditation and yoga and all of it. So that is July 29th. I only have a couple spaces left because I do want to keep the numbers pretty tight on that one. So you could check my website, deborahhanlon.com, or you could just email my office, which is info@beingknowingdoing.com. It's up here. Let's see, right there. Look at me, I'm Vanna White right there. That's exciting. This is the first time I've ever tried this, and I'm really looking forward to it. And it took me about 6 months to feel my way through whether this was the right decision in the right location, and I found it, and I'm really excited about that. So all the information is online on my website. Then my introduction to mediumship. I still have 2 classes left in my 4-class series. Each class is independent of each other. So if you haven't taken the first 2, that's fine. You can jump in on the next one, which is tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. So you can join that, but you could also do it online. And all my classes are recorded now. So anything I do teach online, in person, will be offered online. So if you've missed the first 2 and you want them, those are still available as well. And all of that is on my website, or you could always email Michelle at info@beingknowingdoing.com. And then my energy transformation awareness, my biggest, deepest, most challenging, most rewarding, most exciting course that I teach It is 6 weeks long. You will spend 30 hours with me. People keep saying, I just want one session, 1 hour. And I'm like, oh my God, how about 30 hours with me? So spend 30 hours with me with really deep healing work, fun energy work. I'm going to teach you how to feel energy. You will feel and observe and witness real energy within the first hour of the class. It is truly transformational, and I love teaching that series, and that begins in September. So all that again on my website. Again, there's only limited seats. I'm being very, very picky these days about the number of people I have in a lot of my groups and workshops, because I want the quality to be good, and I want people to feel like they have a real intimate time with me. And intimate time sounds a little too much. Not intimate. We're not getting intimate. We're getting close. I don't know. Or we'll be together and you'll be happy. I don't know. You'll enjoy it. Anyway, next. Moving right along. So those are my newest things coming up. Meditation's always scheduled. That's on Facebook and all of the above. Instagram. If those of you have not joined Instagram, let me tell you, I'm not tech savvy. I hate Twitter. I still don't understand Twitter at all. I have a Twitter, and everything I post on Facebook or Instagram goes to Twitter. So apparently I'm active, but I never touch Twitter, like literally touch it. So I don't know how to do it, but Instagram, you guys, is really easy and it's really fun. And I'm loving it way more than Facebook because it's not any of that just junky stuff that sometimes Facebook offers. So if you're not on Instagram, get on Instagram and then friend me or like me or follow me or whatever the lingo is for that one. And I try to send some sort of like inspiring or thought-provoking or stupid quote or thought or whatever every day. I try every day to post something just as a reminder, quick read, easy read, to just lift your spirits and keep our thoughts focused in the right places. So all that is that. Let's see what else. Before I continue, I do want everyone to hold space for a friend of mine named Tara who is ill, and I just want everyone to just lift Tara up in your thoughts and hold her health and well-being and that of her son, and her whole family for her highest good. So just send her good energy, send her healing, send her love, send her abundance, whatever it is. We just like hold Tara up because she does need it. And she's the most positive, energetic person I know. And she expressed recently that she's kind of having a rough time with everything she's going on. So if we could just send those vibes to Tara, let that energy go where it needs to go, that would be helpful. And I want to share with you a really cool thing that happened this morning right in my kitchen. And it is an example of how the other side works and how quickly the other side can work. And it just these things. I mean, I'm constantly around mediumship. I'm constantly around people and the evidence and that proof that there's another side. And I live it. I breathe it. I eat it, sleep it. I read it. I do nothing else but talk about and learn about spirit and religion and spirituality and spiritual psychology and you name it. That is all I do. I have no other hobbies except maybe drinking wine, but no other positive hobbies. And yet these things still take my breath away. So this morning I was up eating Cocoa Krispies because I'm not an adult, not fully. And I'm drinking my coffee and I'm reading some intuitive questions that came in overnight. And I'm sitting with them and I'm being present with them. I'm not showered. I'm in my pajamas, no bra. You get it, right? And not looking good. Not, I had morning face for sure. And all of a sudden, and Greg's at work and the kids are away. Only one child is up in his room. He's sleeping. The house is quiet and the doorbell rings. I thought, that's weird. Like we live in a private street. Nobody's here. So I look and I see a man at my door. I thought, what the hell? And it's like 8:07, right? It's kind of early. So I answer the door, and it's a man that's coming to service something in our house, and I'm being purposely generic about the company and what we had serviced and stuff for his protection. And I answer the door, and he says, "Hi, I'm here, so and so. I'm here from so and such, and I'm here to service whatever." And I'm like, I didn't know about this, but I know that Greg had been talking about getting this done. So I was like, oh, all right, he must have forgotten. He's at work, but I'm here. Come on in. So he's talking to me, and he's got a service, whatever. And we just started chit-chatting because he was in my kitchen, and I'm really like kind of focused on my intuitive questions. He's doing his thing, and he had said like what a beautiful home and what a beautiful space, and that he moved up here from the city about 19 years ago as a country home, and he used to work in the city, but now he's up here. So I asked him, "Oh, what'd you do before in the city?" And he said he was in publishing. And I said, "Oh, that's cool." I said, "What company did you work for?" And he said, two names of really big companies. And I said, "Oh, wow, those are big companies. That's pretty cool." And he's like, "Yeah, they're big before publishing took a nosedive because of, online everything." I said, "Oh, that's cool." He goes, "Why? Do you know publishing?" And I said, "I know nothing about publishing except that I just published my first book. And so I did some research. So I know those names that you had said. And so I know of those, of course, but I'm not like known with publishing." So then he proceeded to ask me, "What did you write about?" Now, come on, you guys know, right, by now that I don't talk about what I do. I don't tell people I write a book. Like not people who aren't in my world like coming to me for these things. I don't mention it. One, because there's two types of people in the world. There's the one type of person that if I say, "Oh, I'm a medium," they're like, "Oh my God, you're like the Antichrist," and I don't feel like dealing with that shit. And then there's the other people who are like, "Oh my God, who's around me right now?" And I'm like, "I don't fucking know. I don't even have a bra on right now, and I'm eating Cocoa Krispies, so I don't know." So there's those two types of people in the world. So I don't tell anybody these things. So, okay. So he goes, "What's the book about?" And I said, "Oh, well, it's about mediumship and the afterlife and what happens when we die, and then like how we can carry their consciousness on into the next lifetime." And he went, "Oh God, oh, whew." And it took his breath away. And he said, "Wow, it's really funny because it was 8:15 in the morning." He goes, "Oh wow, sorry, but my mom just died this morning." I said, "Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh my gosh." And he was just like, "Oh no, oh my gosh, it's so crazy." I said, "Oh my God, if that is not a sign that she's like using me right now to get to you to talk about this, to let you know, like, oh my God, she landed. Her flight to the other side has landed and she is more than okay." She had died at 6:40 this morning, and it was like 8:15. So not even 2 hours later, this woman and this scenario had all played out. Now, yes, skeptics can say it was coincidence, and they'd be idiots for saying that. Um, but wow, and here now I'm crying in my kitchen. He's choked up, crying. We're like, "Oh my God, this is so amazing." And I'm like, "Oh my God, this mom." So I'm like thinking, "Oh my God, Dad, like get a bra on quick and do a reading," right? That's what I'm thinking. Like, "Oh my God, doll yourself up, do something with yourself before you scare the man." But um, it was powerful. It was so powerful for so many reasons. One, Greg normally does not forget these appointments. So the fact that he forgot is amazing. If had he been home for this, I would have let him handle it. That never would have come up. It would never would have been discussed. So that right off the bat was wild. Two, the fact that I mentioned what I did. I don't do that. You guys think I do. I mean, I do it in the forum that I'm here, but I don't do that out in my regular life. And then three, the fact that this had just happened, and it like I don't know, it was just unbelievable. So if any of you ever are asking for that proof or need that proof, it might not happen for you, and you might not get your proof for yourself, but I get the proof from the other side through all of you all the time. And I just want you guys to remember that story, because these things happen in amazing ways for amazing reasons, things that are too big for us to even understand. And it's not coincidence. Don't chalk things up to coincidence anymore, because it's not coincidental. So there's my story. Pretty cool. Love it. It exists, And that was not even 2 hours later. She was kind of given that wink of like, hey, everything's fine. I've landed. We're good. Pretty amazing. Hey, Kevin. My God, that's the name I haven't seen in 100,000 years. So that's that. Pretty cool. Last week, I talked a little bit about compassion and holding compassion for each other. And I want to know and hear about your experiences with compassion. Are you able to kind of activate and listen and pay attention to your compassion, abilities to have compassion, and when you're not compassionate? And also, I want to hear about your homework, because their homework has been about setting up your day in your mind before you start your day. And at the end of your day, I want you to review your day, play your day back to yourself, and let each thing go. Close out each screen of your mind, things that have gone awry or throughout the day, positive or negative. Like, close it out like there's many different screens in your mind so that you close out your day before you go to sleep. These are important things for you to do. So, all right. So the point of this is just to talk and whatever and ask questions. I will remind all of you that I only take generalized questions. I don't take personal intuitive questions in this format. Occasionally, as a little surprise and a little reward for all of my trusty little not stalkers, what do I call you? My peeps, my people that are interested in hearing my voice speak. Every once in a while, I'll just say, yep, I'm going to open questions for intuitive, but tonight I'm not going to do that. And I don't do that every night. So this is generalized. This is time to have a conversation with me. And there's very few things that are off the table. So you can ask anything, almost anything. And if I don't want to answer it, I will kindly either ignore you or I'll address that I don't want to answer it. But I'm pretty much an open book. So yeah, what do you have for me? And again, I'm just going to remind everyone on Facebook, even though, oh, hey, Carolyn, I see you're having trouble over here hearing me. So I'm glad you joined me over there. Yeah, pretty amazing story. Absolutely love the fact that that happened this morning. But Facebook, I really don't pay attention to this screen, so I won't be answering your questions if you submit them over here. I only answer the questions that are coming from people who are tuned in and logged on through YouTube. So no one has a question yet, although Kim said you're going to be a stalker because you're upset that I opened the door for a man. I did see that he had like a company shirt on, and I realized like, oh, this must be that appointment. Like, you know, I remember hearing Greg say he had an appointment, and I'm intuitive, so I can kind of feel like he was totally safe. And he really was. I loved his energy. The minute he came into my home, I really liked this man's energy. So if I didn't, I would have had a really good excuse. But thank you, Kim, for getting my back, having my back for sure. And hello, Pam. I see you there tuning in. Thank you. And Carla and Roseanne. Let's see. Kevin, what have you been doing? My God, it's been forever. Deb, how are you? Let's see. Carolyn said you can see it on Facebook. You'll listen and not speak. That's great. Oh, you're a stalker because I'm amazing. Hold on a second. Let's all talk about how amazing Deborah is, right? Let's do that. No, let's not. I'm an asshole, really. Trust me. I'm not. I have a cool ability to tune into energy. But I can get cranky, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in my 40s and the crank meter has gone up, and I fortunately spent the day with my very best friend, Kristen, and we went to a spa today, and I still have spa hair. It's like matted and from the pool, but why was I saying that? Spent the day at the spa. What the hell was I just saying? So I can't read your comments and think at the same time. No clue. No clue. Oh, 40 and 43 and I'm cranky. I got it. So my friend and I were talking about like what drives us crazy. And we're like, oh my God, I bet this is that stuff that all women in their 40s and then 50s feel, because we're just fucking angry at this point. We're just angry. And my friend and I were talking about like, we're so angry all the time about the dumbest stuff. Like, I'm not angry about like world injustice. I mean, I am angry about that. That's horrible. But like, I'm angry when like someone doesn't get out of my way in the car. And I'm angry if someone takes too long to pay at a line. Like, I'm ridiculous. So yeah, my crank meter is at an all-time high. Yes, Kevin, major. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know what happens when you get in your 40. You're just like, I am not putting up with shit. My friend Chris and I were talking about our boundaries and how we found our boundaries. And my God, 10, 11 years ago, she and I were like the most boundaryless buffoons ever. And now we're like, not doing that, not saying yes, no, no, no. It's kind of nice. It's really nice. I wish I had learned about boundaries in my 20s. So for those of you who are younger, if you hear nothing else from my mouth, learn boundaries. Definitely learn how to set your boundaries and feel okay with what you feel okay with and not what you're not okay with. Don't say yes to things just because you think it's the polite or nice thing to do. Not always, anyway. Sometimes we do have to, but not always. So, yes. Oh, Jana, I'm so glad to see that you're going to read my book. Oh boy, here we go. Yeah. Oh, the anger increases with age. Well, I'm hoping that I am able to release it in positive avenues. I truly think, particularly women, getting together to talk about things that make us angry or annoyed or whatever it is, I think that really helps. And there's a difference because Kristen and I were talking about this. We're not bitching. We're not, we're not complaining. We're not gossiping. We had this whole big thing about how we both like just hate gossip and don't engage in gossip. And as women, that's so detrimental. But I don't know. It's just, I think it's helpful when people talk about what's real and what we want to, what's real in our lives, whether we're angry, not angry, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. Okay. So I see a couple computers. Nope. I see Carolyn saying, I got you now on the computer. Andrea, not a question. I thought you said I have a question. You tuned in 2 weeks ago and had a question about the job fund, found out today. Yay, excellent. Good job. I vaguely remember your question too, Andrea. Yeah, Kathy is, and Greg, if you can like block certain assholes that are writing stupid shit on here, that would be really helpful. So if we can find out how to do that, because I kind of have an idea who that is, but yeah, let's just stop with the bullshit. But anyway, back to my spirit. Talk about being angry. You're not making me angry. You're just annoying me. Let's see, Christine, I'll answer your question. Does spirit know when you're thinking about them? Yes, they always do. I always explain that connecting with the other side is like sending a text. So as soon as you think of them, it's like you send them a text. And sometimes they'll text right back immediately. And other times it might take a few hours, maybe a few days to get a kind of a response. So yes, they absolutely do know when you're thinking about them. That's positively or negatively. So if you're angry with someone who's passed and your thoughts aren't kind or pleasant, then you can just know that they're not upset with you for having unpleasant thoughts. They're in a space that they are able to handle and hear you for what you say versus what their human selves would have engaged in. The ego really is the thing that causes problems for all of us or can cause problem for all of us. So yeah, there you go. Maria, it'd be inappropriate to say that sex for women in their 40s is the best. Not at all. It would not be inappropriate at all, except for those who might not feel that way. And if you don't feel that way, don't feel lonely that you feel that way. I think there's something to that, though. You think, Carla, you think the older we get, the less BS we tolerate? Yeah, we have a greater love for ourselves and our boundaries. I agree. And we're about self-preservation. And I think we start to realize that if we become everybody's everything, we've become nothing for ourselves. So that's like so important. Let's see. Yes, Kathy, exactly. So Dakota, can you get a sign from spirit? You totally can. See, here's the thing. What signs are about is that since we are here living in the physical, we are conditioned to only understand things in physical. So what do I mean by that? It's the interpretation. So energy is giving us information all the time. We're picking up on energy all the time. But because we are wired to understand the world through our senses, then we look through our senses for signs. So that's why a lot of times you'll hear about um you can smell roses or cigarettes or wood chips or their cologne or perfume when they've passed, or pipe smoke, or whatever, all the different scents that come up. You can see them visually, some people do. um you can hear them through your mind's ear. You can have complete um what do you call it, it's just whatever it is, seeing, touching, feeling, tasting. That's the way that you can experience signs. But that's not the only way they come through. It's just the way that we'll catch them because they're the way we're most familiar with because we're here in the physical. But that's why my introduction to mediumship class, that's what I'm teaching. And people are already 2 classes in, are like super amazed with themselves at being able to understand in a better way, in a more scientific way, a more rational way, and which is crazy to put rational and intuition in the same sentence. But um, I teach it so that you get it through your own methods, your own way of connecting. So yes, they give you signs, but it's many different ways. A feeling is a sign too. So take my mediumship class for that one, because it's not just about doing readings for people by any means. At first, it's about understanding the energy and the information that's coming through us and to us all the time, and you are completely unaware of the energy that's coming through to you. So um that's important to know. All right. Let's see. I'm only taking generalized questions, so I'm not taking personal intuitive questions right now. Yes. A lot of anger is fear-based. A lot of anything unpleasant is fear-based. Absolutely. And what does fear-based mean? It means that there's an unknown outcome or an unknown uh, ability within yourself that you either haven't activated enough or at all, or one that you're not really trusting to activate, and that creates fear. It's another way of looking at fear is like getting into a comfort zone. If you're in a comfort zone, that means you're really operating out of fear. Sometimes comfort zones are like after you've been through a really tumultuous, traumatic experience and just a lot of change and transition, a comfort zone is so welcomed and appreciated. And I've been in that space where I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love the comfort zone that I've been in, the very mundane, solid day-to-day life that I have. I'm in a comfort zone, but I'm starting to get uncomfortable in the comfort zone, knowing that it's time for me to now gear up and do something more, activate my energy better, utilize myself in a different way. And so I'm just coming out of that. And coming out of that, I'm meeting myself with fears that are coming up, these like feelings of inadequacies that I either didn't have before or that I'm creating in my mind right now of like, oh, you're not good enough, or whatever the tape is that we all play. So it's really, really important to pay attention to what you are blocking in your life and fearing in your life, because it's really most likely a change and an amping up, a coming out of a comfort zone. So the Susan, hello, so good to see you tuned in here. You're from like my very beginning days of all of this. I will never forget going into your living room multiple times for sessions, one by one, always. Um, so the mediumship class that I have right now, it is online. So I'm teaching it live and it's recorded. So if you still want to take part of it, you can take the recorded part. I will also put together a lot more. Thank you, Greg. A lot um, more online classes available, because I do know that, not everyone can attend in the time frame that we all have, that I have. So, yes. So, yes, but I don't have any live ones planned right now. My fall is always so busy with galleries. I'm doing a lot of events with the Walkway over the Hudson, and that's exciting. So I've got a lot of that coming up at the end of the summer and the fall, and I have book signings and new gallery venues coming out in the fall. So a lot of kind of changing things up. Missy, thank you for those of you who shared how to block that. Thank you so much, you and Angela. Thank you. I think I held my cool pretty well because that person's comments are so stupid. What an asshole. It's just like I hope that person was like 12 years old, because if they were an adult, that's like so freaking sad, and I should have compassion for them, but I don't. But anyway, moving right along. Back to my spiritual self. Don't be an asshole, and then I love you. And if you're an asshole, then I'm just gonna call you that. And then, when we die, we'll visit and we'll hook up, and I'll be like, hey, sorry, I called you an asshole that one night on YouTube, and then everything's good. So, okay, Melanie writes, you were reading something today about religion. Do you feel that the idea of hell is something humans created to strike fear into religious followers rather than something that really exists? Yes and no. I did write about this in my book. And of course, I forget the priest that I quoted, which is pretty bad. I wrote it so long ago. But a priest had this fantastic conversation and quote saying what he believes that the concept of hell was created totally to control. However, what I do think is I think humanity took it too literally and created a division because, again, we've talked before down here, like we live in a world of duality. Things are opposites in order for anything to be created. You have to have light, you have to have dark, you have to have happy, you have to have sad, you have to have the extremes in life to bring things into 3D world. So because of that duality that's programmed in our brains, if we're going to live in heaven, if we're going to have everything, then there also has to be a hell. My thing is that we are living in hell. This realm, and I talk to people every single day, and I'm humbled and grateful and gracious that people share with me their deepest, darkest moments, whether it's the passing of a loved one or an affair that's gone awry or a love that's been broken or worrying about children and parents and self-identity, all sorts of stuff. I talk about all of it all the time. And I meet people who are like, I don't get this world. I don't understand it. I don't want to be in it. And it doesn't even mean that they're suicidal. It doesn't mean they're not, but it doesn't mean that they really are. They're saying, I just don't like this world. I don't get it. And in a workshop I took this weekend, was talking about how much I do not like the physical world. I don't like it. Like, it annoys me. This is stupid. Like, I'm going through all these motions all the time, and I'm busy, and then my brain is going, and it's never enough, and I could always do more for my kids, and then I got this shit show going on over here. Life happening. So this world is hard, and to me, that's the hell portion. Hell is a state of mind. Hell is the grind. Hell is not seeing your purpose, your value. Hell is being stressed, grieving a loved one, having to deal with injustices in the world, having life be unfair. That's hell, and many more definitions is hell. So I do believe in this realm we can have heaven and hell. They can exist simultaneously. And my book is all about like changing your consciousness. You have to change the way you see things in order to escape being completely sucked up by the energy and the existence that living as a human brings. And that doesn't mean that like being a human is the worst thing and doom and gloom. I always sound like I'm so miserable, but it's not easy here. It's not pleasant here. From the time humanity has begun, we have all searched for these answers. That's why sacred texts are thousands of years old. What we all feel is not new. It's just the environment in which we're feeling it keeps changing. So we keep trying to blame it on the environment when it's really just our inside selves and the way humanity works. that brings about this whole conflict and this whole like, fuck, what the hell am I doing? What is this? Why am I working so hard? Or why am I this? Or why am I that? Or, all this stuff. And I've really come to learn I don't like it. I haven't accepted it. But that's what this realm is about. This realm is about having all this stuff and kind of busying our souls with this stuff just to have these experiences to keep pushing and growing our souls. That's it. That is it. So don't pay your Central Hudson bill and tell them, like, you know what? My soul doesn't resonate with your bill. I mean, don't really do that, but it doesn't matter in the big scheme of things. It doesn't matter. No one has ever come through in a reading and ever said like, oh man, I'm so mad that I was, kept my credit perfect and not perfect or whatever. So I think we just need to keep ourselves more realistic. I think we need to ground ourselves. I think we need a lot of forgiveness on ourselves. Take a lot of pressure off. I know I do. I need to do this for myself. So this is what it is, right? So this is hell. But yes, I think the text of hell or the concept of hell could also be, well, it wasn't even hell, I don't think. It's more of an angry God who's going to punish you if you don't listen. I think that was the premise to control people. Okay. So Susan, that's a good question. If everyone creates their own heaven, how can we all be together again? Because that space that we are attributing to heaven is actually going to be the same among everyone. So it can look different, but the essence, the intention, the beginning with the potential that heaven is ultimately the same exact space for everyone, even if it looks different or feels different or acts different. So we are all always together. And I've shared this before too, that, people will always ask me like, oh, I just want to know if my mom reunited with my dad on the other side. And I'll say, not only did they, of course, reunite, but your mom and dad reunited with my brother and grandparents and aunts who have passed. And they're like, yeah, but they didn't know them. And I'm like, exactly. But we're here now. So if we connect down here on any level, whether it's really, really deep level or really, really superficial, like you see a cashier and you say hello, or you sit next to someone on an airplane or a bus or a train. Once you connect with someone here, their people and your people on the other side have connected. And I think we really need to think of this much broader than what we typically think of. We think of like, oh, there's like a family reunion on the other side. And I see drawings of like people reuniting. And it's that, but it's way bigger, which makes us truly all one. So as you're all listening to me, I'm not sitting with you all individually, but because we're connecting through this medium, the medium of computer, not medium, my people and your people are all connecting, and they're all connecting because we're connected. So wrap your head around that. So we're all always in this together. Sandra, that's a good question. Does everyone have the potential to receive messages from departed loved ones, and you just need to be taught how? Yes, everyone has the ability to receive information from their own loved ones. I don't believe everyone is a medium, although everybody acts as a medium. So today, the story that I shared earlier with the person that came to my house and then his mom had passed, she was using me as the medium to kind of confirm with him, not because I'm a medium, but because I was a person that was going to bring up the afterlife. I was the tool, and I didn't even have to use my mediumship stuff at all. So we're all always being used as mediums for others, but that does not mean that everyone is a medium for everyone else. And I was kind of talking about this with my class, my mediumship classes. If you take my class, I will teach you how to connect, and I will teach you things that you'll go, oh my God, I never knew that was this. I didn't know this is how it works. But I am not ever certifying anyone to be a medium, because mediumship, in my opinion, is extremely, extremely sacred. And the skill comes in with the power of discernment, how to deliver messages, recognizing that, you are dealing with a person's psycho-emotional and spiritual selves, bodies, that there's nothing more precious than someone's mental emotional state, especially when they're going to grief. So like you have to consider that, and the way you say things is important. And if you don't know the answer, to not pretend you know an answer. So the job of medium is not just like, oh, I see a crystal ball. I'm not saying you are saying that, but I'm very cautious at making everyone think that they're medium for everyone else, because you can get messages, but the way you deliver them is just as important as the messages you get. When am I doing a gallery in Albany? I have 2 galleries in Albany. One is October, I think like 15th, 16th, somewhere around there. It's a Wednesday night in October at the Polish American Community Center. And then I have one following that up at the Cohoes Music Hall again in early November. So those are my first and only 2 that I have scheduled right now in Albany. So check those out. The Polish American Community Center it's probably on my website, so you can go to my calendar and then you could look and hook up with them and the people that you're supposed to contact to make those reservations through my website. So go to my website calendar, look at my October dates, click on one that shows that there's a gallery there, and then you can get that contact information. That one sold out last time. I'm pretty sure it sold out. It was really big, so they had a lot of people. And the Cohoes one will definitely sell out. So both have about 200 to 300 people in them. So make sure if you are interested to get to those. I also do private group sessions, and I keep them to at least 10 people. So if anyone's interested in private groups, I really suggest you keep it to family only because if I had 10 friends sitting, that's kind of like, might as well be an audience of 100, because I can never guarantee like every single one of you in that group will get individual messages, because it's a 1.5 hour session. But if you have a family, I do it for friends, but I always make that warning of like, if I can't get to someone, it's not because I don't like them. But if you have a family and you want to do a group one, we hand schedule those, so you don't have to wait for an appointment online every month. We hand schedule you. We tell you what my availability is, and then you let us know which one works for you. That's 5 to 10 people. So a minimum of 5, maximum of 10. Oh, good, Susan. Everyone can block that person. So before, that obnoxious human being that was writing all of that, everyone could block. Okay. Let's see. Noreen, when you feel like your loved ones who've passed are speaking to me or nudging you, if you resisted, am I making a bad choice? So they definitely know better. No, they understand that if we are resisting it, that's us being human, and they understand that. So they're not like mad at us, and they're not telling us not to be human. They're recognizing it. So they have that great, I always say they've got the good spot, because they have that vantage point of knowing like, oh my gosh, they're still in human form, and sometimes we are fearful, and sometimes we can't get out of our own way, and sometimes we're just being human. They're not going to hear it. We're not going to listen. So are they upset or anything? No. If you're getting an intuitive nudge to do something and it keeps coming over and over, we really should listen to it. But do we always? No, we don't always. I'm an intuitive as a living. I teach people about intuition, and I don't follow my gut every time. And every time I don't, I completely regret it to major degrees, but that we're being human, and they understand that. I think that's going to be my new quote. No compassion for assholes. That'll be my next bracelet. My spiritual bracelet line. No compassion for assholes. That's exactly. No soup for you. Oh, watch me. I'm going to do that. I am. Okay. Is it true, Cynthia? Thank you. Is it true that children often interact with people that pass but don't know how to express that they can? I think so. I think they do a pretty good job of expressing it. And sometimes I think, especially when they're really, really young, they don't even feel like they need to express it because it's so normal to them. They think you're seeing the same exact thing or experience the same thing. So if when they're really young and nonverbal. It's just like they're assuming that you're experiencing the same world they are, but we're not. And then other kids, it depends on the climate of the family and the people. I mean, kids pick up on who to say those things around and who not. So if we shut them down, like, oh, don't say that, then they start to learn, like, oh, I can't really tell them. But for the most part, I do think kids, especially today, kids are much more open to being able to talk about it than say 50 years ago, when it was really, really like, oh God, don't do that, don't say anything. Yes, Dakota, spirits come in dreams all the time, for sure. Oh, Dorothy, I love that. Yes. Dorothy said, if only we knew without a shadow of a doubt what truly happens after we pass, maybe then there would be less grievers in the world. Absolutely. No doubt there would be. Well, you know what? There would be less intellectual grieving, I think, because we would know with a certainty like you're talking about. But when we're here in the physical, I still think we would miss people in the physical, because I know without a shadow of a doubt that the energy of those who pass are around us all the time and experiencing. I get that proof not from my people and me thinking it. I get it from your people. And I'm sitting in awe, literally, as this medium, the middle person of like, I'm hearing something, I'm explaining something, and I don't know what they're talking about, but the person sitting with me totally knows what they're talking about. And so therefore I'm a witness. I'm in the presence of proof, which is why that's the name of my book. I'm in the presence of that proof every single day. Like, that is my job. Don't forget, like, that is what I do. I'm in the presence of proof every single day. It still blows my mind, and it still doesn't change the fact that when someone dies, we're going to miss them, and we're going to have regrets, and we're going to be sad, and we're going to have so much. Like, I don't think that would change. I really don't. Intellectually, maybe, because we can wrap our heads around it, but as human beings, no, if we're here in the physical, we want them here in the physical, and that's fine. And they know that because they remember being human, and they know, like, yeah, yep, nope, they can't realize that I'm here. It's not good enough. It's still not good enough, I think. Even if you're here in spirit, and I'm glad they're here in spirit, and I'm glad they don't miss things. But then I'm also like, well, what would be better is you not have dying, for sure. Oh, Carolyn, thank you so much. Thank you. Midnight spiders. Midnight spiders. Speaking of spiders, I haven't even looked down. Last week I had a spider calamity. Oh God, now I'm freaking out again. So you feel like you've never had I feel like I never have dreams of my brother who passed anymore. Does that mean he's farther from us? No. That's common. That happens. That's totally normal. Sometimes it kind of means that we don't need that interaction as much. Our grief is not as in the forefront of our brain as it is, especially in the beginning of when someone passes. So over time, dreams can absolutely subside or get, significantly less or no more. But you can train them to come back. You can, before you go to bed, make that intention and say, I really want you to be here with me. So you could train that if you've had dreams before. But don't ever, and people always do, don't ever confuse if they don't show up in dreams, it means they're not around. Think of it more as, oh, they're coming in a different way, in a different form, and then start getting curious as to what that form is. And don't forget, you guys, can you click the thumbs up if you haven't already, if you're liking this back and forth. I know I enjoy it, but YouTube needs to see that my listeners are engaged. So the thumbs up signals YouTube IT or YouTube computer land stuff, completely opposite side of the brain, the part that of my brain that I don't utilize in a positive way, that technical logical side. But anyway, for algorithms, please just hit that thumbs up sign if you haven't already. Ooh, Marge, thank you for ordering. How can I connect with so many people on the other side? And Susan writes, that mind-blowing, like your head exploding emoji. Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? Back when I started with you, Susan, I would read up to 10 people in a day, in an afternoon. I'd do 10 half-hour settings. And I have no idea how I did that. Absolutely no idea. I was new at it, and I was still really, really fresh and excited and really loved the proof, and I'm still excited and liking the proof, but I couldn't even imagine doing 10 individual sessions in a day today. Not even close. So, um I think it's changing for me, the way I operate, the way I do everything. Um and I prefer at this point to really connect people with sudden death passings, passing of children, because to me those are the people who really, really, really need it the most, which does not diminish people who have had a passing of someone elderly or knew they were going to pass. It doesn't diminish it at all, but the readings are different in my opinion. So I'm kind of reserving my energy a little bit more these days, and I'm doing far less, nowhere even close to 10. If I do 4 in a day, I am shot, totally shot, for individual sessions. So the fact that I used to do 10 blows my mind. But then again, it was like 15 years ago. I was younger, so I could handle it. I was less angry back then. Now I'm just so angry all the time that it's consuming my energy. Let's see. I know we've had past lives as humans, but it's the same energy that's in animals. Like we have been dogs before. Yep, we've been all insects and all levels of life forms on this planet. So at one point or another, yes, we have been some other animal. I just heard just this weekend that once you become human, you don't go back. You don't go back into like a dog or an insect soul. You keep moving forward. So humans apparently are on the end of that evolutionary chain that we're aware of at this time. Ooh, Elizabeth, that's a fantastic question. Elizabeth asks, how do you know if you are learning your life lessons? That is a great question. Because we all want to know, like, Deb, am I gonna have to repeat this crap? Um, if a lesson keeps coming up over and over and over, like if someone keeps getting into the same bad relationships over and over and over, or if someone continuously has money and then loses money and then has money and then loses money and then, that cycle. If it keeps happening, whatever it is, over and over and over, you're not getting the lesson. That doesn't mean things don't pop up because all lessons kind of repeat, but they become lesser as you evolve. They become shorter and you notice them faster. So if it took me how long to decide, like to realize like I got to get divorced. Actually, I knew on my wedding day I was going to get divorced, but um it takes a long time in the beginning, and then as it starts to repeat more and more, we learn it quicker. So something that might have taken us 8 years to get the memo, maybe it'll only take us 4 the next time, and then after 4, maybe it only takes us a year the following time. So we start to learn things quicker. Um, a lot of times people ask, how do we even know what our lessons are? What are we here for? And I do teach a class called Why Are We Here? And I really do have to put that one online. Maybe I'll do that soon. Don't I say that all the time? I have so much to do. But that's a really good one. And I talk about how you can even figure out and find out what some of your basic life lessons are here to learn. Why do family who have passed sometimes seem, Eileen, this is coming from Eileen, seem so close and yet at other times seem so far away and disengaged? It's usually when we need them the most, we think they're the most disengaged because we're like calling and begging and pleading. It's kind of, I always say it's like that Jesus quote, a footprints thing. And like, where's your set of footprints when I needed you the most? And then the Jesus line is like, that's when I carried you. That pertains to your loved ones as well. So I think it seems to be when we're not in such dire need, they kind of pop up. Similarly, sometimes there's those moments where we are in complete dire need and we're like, bam, like the man today at my house. I mean, that was like, he just, he didn't even probably have time to even ask the question, Mom, are you okay? It hadn't even been 2 hours yet. But bam, he got that sign. So it's not their energy. It's not like they're far and they're like on a trip or on vacation or like, it's nothing like that. It's more where we're at. Okay, let's see. Melanie, why do we sometimes feel drawn to certain people and feel like we've known them forever? Is it because we have an unconscious level of awareness they need to be part of our journey? Yes, could be that. It could be that we have shared a life before and they're familiar. It could be that you vibrate so much on the same level that you're just so similar that it just like the relationship feels easy, like from the beginning. It could be because you're just totally on the same vibrational level. So it's a multitude of things. But unconscious awareness, level of awareness, they need to be a part of our journey. Definitely. That's so well said too. I'm impressed and proud of you. But I think also on some level, the unconscious part of our journey are also the people that we don't like that we keep bringing back into our lives. That's also an unconscious level of awareness that they need to be part of our journey. So even if it doesn't feel right, sometimes that's like saying we need to. I just saw. Oh, okay. I just saw a text come in from someone. I thought I needed to get it right away, but I don't. So yeah, there's that. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I think I should make those bracelets. No compassion. No soup for you. No compassion for you. Okay, Anne, through the law of attraction, we all create our own reality. Can we create a better life for a child? Can we focus enough for them, or are we only in control of our own lives? Great question, especially as parents, because we want to just wring their little necks or just dump all our information into them and hope they get it. But no, we cannot. We can hold our thoughts for their highest good, but it is every individual's self job to be able to create their own better life, because ultimately they're the only ones who can think for themselves. And I think we're running into a collective conscious problem with the younger generations by applauding them for everything. There's something to be said for making sure someone feels accomplished and well loved, of course. But when we applaud everything someone does without merit, or if it's like, someone didn't get an A, but they're given an A, we feel that. We all know something's not earned, and that plays a number. So, only that person is in charge of your own thoughts. And if you're already feeling like someone's blowing smoke at you, then you will interpret that as they don't think I'm good enough to be able to do X, Y, and Z. So what we need to give the tools to kids is how to think for themselves and applaud the fact that they think for themselves, regardless of what that is. That's what we need to do. Easier said than done sometimes, because sometimes they think in really ridiculous ways. And I have teenage boys all over this house, so we'll see the choices they make at times. Kim knows. Kim's with my son right now, actually. Okay. Can messages from loved ones be expressed through people who are still alive? I don't mean people like you, mediums. Yeah, absolutely, all the time. Sometimes I'll hear a mom come to me and say, "Oh my God, my 4-year-old son says the same lines my dad does, and uses the same, like, raises the eyebrow in a weird way." And that's exactly what my dad did. So they'll always use other people, always. I was the medium, not because I was a medium, but the medium for that man earlier in my house this morning. I was the conduit, not because I'm a medium, but because I was being used, and that whole conversation was kind of pre-planned. Also, I'm not a small talk type of person. For those of you who don't really know me, I hate chit chat and small talk. Like, to me, I want to know what makes you tick. What were the biggest tragedies in your life? What were the greatest triumphs? What are you most proud of yourself? Where have you fallen? What have you learned? That's what I want to know. Like, if you see me in the store and be like, well, no, if you see me in the store, we're going to have small talk. But like, I want bigger conversation. So I don't even know where my brain went. See, if I read your questions as I'm answering, I'm done. It's also like 4,000 degrees in here. It's like so hot in the studio here. Oh, it could be my tea too, but it's really hot. Maybe it's menopause too. I don't think so though, but I'm sorry. I totally lost my train of thought. I don't know. I have spa brain. Can we? No, it's just Deborah. It's just me being Deborah. But yes, they can use other people all the time. They do all the time is really, I should just be succinct with my goddamn answers, right? Oh, I'm glad you guys are still with me. I tell you that much. Okay. Alrighty. Melanie, we can send you one of those bracelets if you just give us your email. I mean, no, I can't send it to the freaking email. Oh my God, help me. It's almost time to close up shop because I'm like, send me your address is what I meant. Robin, hello. Is it possible a certain 6-month-old baby, could that be little Lila, doesn't like certain people's energy? We all feel Lila is very familiar to us. Both Larry and I have said to her, who are you? Yeah. You told yes, babies feel just like animals. Babies feel people's energy for sure. Babies feed off of energy. When moms are like upset and getting like babies feed off of that. So like that's why it's important for us to stay calm, which is why we have more guilt because there's sometimes we just can't freaking stay calm and then we're like, oh, I ruined my baby. But that's how it goes. But yeah, of course she's familiar too because she's in your soul family. So yeah. Melissa, hello. Thank you. Let's see. Hey, Deborah, do you check people's gifts on the medium class? Do you still have space? I still have space. I do allow drop-ins all the time. So if you just want to show up, that's fine. If you're going to come and tune in online, that needs to be done in advance so that we have time to send you the link to log on to the class. So you can't just show up at the class at 6 p.m. like and be like, hey, where's the link? So I think the cutoff time for that is 3 o'clock to make sure you register by 3 o'clock if you're doing it online. However, if you want the old classes online, you can sign up for those at any point. Just let us know, and we'll send you the link for all the old stuff. And do I check people's gifts? Yeah, I'm teaching. I'm not really looking for mediums, and I'm actually, and this is going to sound really weird, but I'm actually more discouraging. I don't know if that's the right word, but discouraging the whole like I'm a medium and look what I can do mentality because I want to teach you well. And I'm a good teacher. I'm going to say that about myself. I'm a damn good teacher. I'm really hard to please. I have a standard that's only gotten 100,000 times harder than I did 5 years ago when I taught this class. But it's more effective because I want you to feel proud of what you know and how you do things. But I don't want anyone to jump into, hey, I'm a medium. Can I start doing readings? Because of the reasons I said before, not because your information isn't good and not because you're not a good medium, but the real skill of a good medium is in understanding how people work and understanding and being very clear with your words on how you say things, because we have to be very careful the way we say things. I don't mean sugarcoat, and I don't mean, change a message. I mean, the words we use can change the meaning to the person sitting. So a good intuitive needs to tune into the person sitting's energy so that we can get the right words. And that doesn't mean I get the right words every time by any means, but I hear too many people that will flippantly say, oh, your dad's so mad at you. And they don't finish the sentence. And then you send someone away. And that can be extremely harmful to someone who's now obsessing over, oh my God, my deceased father's mad at me, which isn't true either. So that's what I want to teach. But I promise you will have an outcome if you follow my method. And my method is not for you to do it my way. This is why I feel like I'm a good teacher, because I'm teaching you to find your way. I'm not teaching you my way. I'm helping you find the way you best work as an intuitive. Very, very different. Okay, let's see. Past life regression, Dorothy. Carol Bowman is the name I always offer. If she's located in Philadelphia, I highly recommend traveling to her. But if you cannot travel to her, I think you can, because I know you, Dorothy. You are someone who's like going to do it, run with it and do it right. But if you can't, you can message her and ask her for someone in your area. I don't know anyone that she recommends in the local area of New York or Hudson Valley area at this time, but maybe that has changed. But Carol Bowman. Good night, Veronica. Oh, I like that you have my book on my bedside table. I love hearing this. I really do. Can mediums really predict things like pregnancy due dates? Sure. Yep. Intuitive mediums. Yep. Absolutely can. We could also be wrong. The one thing I'm always wrong on is gender of babies. Yeah, don't forget to click the bell icon, guys, too. That helps me also because, well, it doesn't really help me. It really helps you more. Once you click the bell, you'll be notified of every time I pop on here. So when I release content on my YouTube channel, you'll be notified that there's new content up there. Okay, let's see. You want to come back as one of your pets? Carolyn saying it's okay to be angry now. When you get in your 50s, you start to not give a shit again. I'm starting to not give a shit. I know, it's crazy. Pertaining to the life lesson question, Dorothy. Yeah. How is losing a child and grieving so painfully part of a life lesson? Seems cruel. To me, it's the cruelest. Honestly, it is the most disturbing, terrible grief we can go through is to lose a child. And that is still a life lesson, and no one wants to hear that because it's like, really? I don't fucking want this life lesson, and that's bullshit. And then you want it like, how come that person didn't have this lesson? But if you can go back to that space in your soul that kind of like asked for this, and that sounds so terrible because it's like, no, I didn't. But your soul and your daughter's soul are, Haley, is they're meeting up. You agreed to this beforehand for the evolution of both your souls, which I know sounds like total bullshit now because it's like, really? That doesn't help me when I'm down. That doesn't help me right now, and it's just bullshit. And you're right, because when we're here in the human world, we want things to be in the physical, and that's the way it is, and that's not going to change. But it is part of your development of your soul. And at one time or another in the past or in the future lives, we will all have experienced that. So, and unfortunately, in this lifetime, that's one of your life lessons. However, and we don't want this. I'm not saying like, ooh, the consolation prize, because that's annoying. You don't want a consolation prize. You don't want anything. You want what you had before. But grief for the living, I should say, creates life. Death for the deceased creates life. So it's opening a doorway into aspects and realms of yourself that you don't give a shit about right now. Like, nope, if I could trade it, I don't want to develop my soul, and I don't want to become a person that I was fine with everything before. And you would be 100% accurate and right to hold that statement or argument. But it is the most powerful personal transformation vehicle in the known universe is grief. And when you lose a child, it is that much more profound. So what I know is that your soul is making massive leaps and bounds, and your human self doesn't want to hear that and doesn't give a shit about what your soul's doing. But your soul's really in charge. So let your human self grieve, but just know that there's a much bigger pull here for you and a much bigger picture and quote unquote reason for it, so that you can use that to pull your human self through this thing. And it's terrible. I mean, there really are no words. And whatever you're feeling at any point in grief, with whom, no matter who's passed, what you feel is real. And that's it. And that's the end of the story. There's no need to justify it. Just feel it. That's important. Let's see. This weekend, I took a yoga workshop. So yeah, I'm into yoga. So I took a yoga workshop. Explain the intro to mediumship online class to Samantha. It's on my website, deborahhanlon.com. And my Facebook pages, it's all over. It's me teaching you how to tune in and teaching you how to understand the tools and roles. So if you haven't taken the first two, it's okay. You could jump in at any point. But if you do want to take the first two, they were recorded and you could purchase them after the fact. They obviously just won't be live, but you'll be able to see the content that was in them. And then you can pick up from tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're talking about accessing our imagination, which is an extremely helpful tool and able to connect with our loved ones. All right, let's see. Oh, look, a squirrel. Yep. Yes, I need a fan. It is hot down here. Even a-holes need compassion. I know, but I don't feel like giving a-holes compassion, Maria. I know they need it. And sometimes I'm an a-hole who needs compassion, but someone might be like, no, I don't like her. But you're right. Let's see. Okay, we'll take a couple more. Joe Hanka? Illa. I can't totally see that. You'll be there? Oh, good. That's excellent. You're not interested in being a medium. You're to use it in my future work as a healer. Absolutely. That class is super helpful. The mediumship class, any class I teach will be super helpful as a healer in general, because when you're tapping into and understanding your intuition, that can only help every career. That's help teachers and doctors and police officers and bus drivers. No matter what, we all need to use our intuition. So we could definitely use it, but of course, future work as a healer is most definitely certain to help. Okay, so Noreen, can lessons that need to be learned carry through generations? For example, your mom suffered the loss of her mom at a young age, and then I lost her at a young age. Is that happenstance or more? It's so funny. These things are all things that came up over this weekend. There's a generational healing and generational trauma that does exist within our family lines. So like say alcoholism, that is typically, we used to call it hereditary disease, but it is something that absolutely is passed down from generation and generation until a strand heals it. And a lot of texts say that it takes 3 generations to heal a wound. I don't know if it's literally 3. Most do say 3, but I've heard some say 7. I've heard some say 12. So I wouldn't be so caught up on how many generations does it take to heal a wound. So, for example, if you become an alcoholic in this lifetime and your parent was an alcoholic and their parent was alcoholic and their parent was alcoholic, but in this lifetime you become an alcoholic and then you join and get rid of your addiction or no longer engage in alcohol, you've healed that. But not only have you healed it for yourself, you have healed it for at least several generations back. So we can heal in reverse. And if you guys remind me, I'll talk more about this next week because it's really important. And I know I'm like leaving you on a cliffhanger now, but healing, because we think of healing as healing ourselves and taking care of ourselves, maybe healing our spouses and our children, maybe healing our parents. Usually it's like immediate environment. But when you heal something generationally within yourself, you heal backwards in time and forward in time. So I do a workshop on that in my retreat. We healed our little girl selves while we were in the Dominican Republic in 2019. We healed our inner 5-year-old or whatever age popped up for people. And there's so much power in that. So I'll have to make a note here to make sure that we do talk about that next week because it's super, super powerful stuff. If you join Instagram, maybe I'll make some posts to allude to it too, because I think that's a great topic. I am so hot and not in a good way. So I'm going to log off, but before I do, let's do a quick brief meditation exercise just to get ourselves quieted down. I do recommend you just sitting for just a moment, maybe 2-3 minutes in silence after we log off together, just to allow all the information from tonight to kind of sink into your being. That really helps you if you can. If you can only do a minute, that's fine too. But thank you all for tuning in. I always am so amazed at how many of you choose to stick around for a very long period of time to engage with me and listen to me and ask me questions, and I'm always so grateful for it. So I want you to just, all of you, take a nice deep breath. You can close your eyes if you want to. If you prefer them open, that's fine too. I just want you to take a really nice deep breath in through your nose and then exhale out your mouth, but really let it out. And do the same thing as you listen to my voice. Just breathe in through your nose and allow that breath to wash over you like a wave. And then exhale out your mouth and let it all go. Really make a sound. Really blow out that air. And already feel, continue to do that, but already feel your body coming down and getting centered. You can imagine that there's roots growing out at the bottoms of your feet. And I want you to imagine those roots just sinking into the earth below you, right through the floor of your, wherever you are right now, your room, living room, your home, wherever you are. Just imagine those roots go right through the floor and into the earth below you. And just feel yourself getting settled in, rooted and stabilized, planted and secure. And just imagine yourself as any sort of plant, flower, or tree, whatever comes to your mind. Just imagine that all this energy is going up through those roots, up into your feet, into your legs. Bring all that energy all the way up into your heart, your throat, your third eye, and imagine yourself just growing really tall and seeing yourself bloom and blossom and come to fruition. Just use your imagination. And every time you inhale, you're pulling more energy up, which causes your blossom or your tree to grow even larger. Bring in gratitude for this day, for all that it's offered to you. Before you go to bed, be sure to review your day and close out each point of your day as if they were internet screens up on your computer. Just minimize or close them all out. And then talk to yourself that as soon as you wake up in the morning, you'll be able to scan through the day in your mind. Just take a minute or two to do that when you wake up. Practice this for the next week. I have other meditations available online. If you go to cdbaby.com, Deborah Hanlon, you will be able to find 2 of my CD recordings. And then, of course, all my meditations that I offer in person and online. So everybody have a good night. I'm going to keep you nice and calm and keep doing what you're doing. Keep breathing and have a fabulous, wonderful, peaceful night. Thanks, guys.